Hello, 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 hello. Today I'm going to be trying to teach you guys how to think outside the box. So, I got myself a little bit of food, scrambled eggs, some beer, and a couple of props with which I'm going to show you how to see the world around you. So, you only really need a few things. I would highly recommend a whiteboard to write your ideas down. Extremely old-fashioned, incredibly important. A medium through which to listen to music. I find headphones are the best. You don't want to blow your ears out, but you want something with quality and something that blocks out the rest of the sound around you. These are Brainwaves. They are made by Brainwaves, and I believe the label for these particular phones are HM5. About $150. They're audiophiles, extremely high quality sound, blocks out a lot of the other noise, extremely comfortable. They can, fall, break to the ground, pop out, be popped back in. I have wrecked on my longboard many times and they still work. Just your basic iPod Nano. You can store a shitload of music, download songs from YouTube using YouTube Downloader, and then stick them right on this thing using Media Monkey. And all the free music you could ever want. A lot of people wear tinfoil hats. Normally, while going down the rabbit hole, one does not normally think they would ever come to this point. I don't wear it. It's mostly ceremonial. And right now, I'm the bearer, the winner, the holder of the champion helmet, aka tinfoil dunce hat, with my favorite Ron Paul Liberty silver coin. And the champion hat means that I am currently the champion of Texas Hold'em, one of the best games you can play to improve your intelligence. I'd suggest just finding a partner who doesn't know much about it if you currently don't play. Play for small hands, keep your playing relatively on a low amount of money. To me, the purpose of playing poker is not necessarily for a financial one, although many people do, and if your intention is not to make money from poker, you should not be betting a lot in poker. To me, it is mostly a game for fun and improving your intelligence. Pots should be limited to $20 if that's what you can spare. Generally speaking, I don't ever really lose. To me, a winning hand involves doing nothing more than making sure you pair with the highest card out there. A single pair generally is the winning hand. Very rarely will you run into doubles, triples, straights, or flushes, and anything higher than that, you might as well forget it. They simply don't happen. Outliers should not be included in your calculations. Beer? I would not recommend it. I'd recommend if you were to do a drug, I would recommend shrooms, and I would recommend DMT, not necessarily acid. And when it comes to shrooms, knowing your shroom dealer is incredibly important. You have no idea the shit they put into it. Believe me, I've bought the lights, the ballasts, the vents, the hoods, all of it. I have seen what people will put into their drugs. You want to know your drug dealer closely. Like you would know your farmer, or you would grow your own food, know your drug dealer. As for me, I rarely drink and I don't consume drugs. That's just from my perspective. Another item you'll need, a computer. This is a Sony. I do not recommend Sony. I think it's a shitty product. I think they make great video games and terrible, terrible, invasive computers. Windows 8 sucks, never buy it. Windows 7 is great. And behind me, I have a series of monitors and computers, which I have set up and built. Simply set up, I guess. And they help me understand my world around me. Computers, unlike what Ted Kaczynski would say, are not my slave but my liberator because I know how to use them. Now, so basically, I'm just going to try and teach you guys using a whiteboard and about the remaining 15 minutes to become incredibly intelligent. Because I did that. I used to play Counter-Strike. I spent 5 years of my life sitting in front of a Wi-Fi router at my feet. That's good for you. And, by the way, this here is good at blocking Wi-Fi signals, believe it or not. One of the reasons why I'm quite sure they say tinfoil hat wearers are crazy, because they don't want you to have Wi-Fi hitting you. If you simply do not use your Wi-Fi is still running. You'll need to go and disable that in the actual router itself. And it is a little bit of a process, but I recommend it. I spent 5 years of my life playing Counter-Strike, and 5 years I wasted. However, I became one of the best, if not the best, Counter-Strike players around, and it was one of the most competitive games out there, and I realize not many people play it, but I would also argue not many people stick around when it comes to playing video games, because most people are terrible at them. And if you're terrible at a video game, you simply don't return. If you're very good, you do. I was very, very, very good. Better than most invite players. I've never been one to want to lord my power over other people, but simply to want to give my power to other people so that I can continue pushing myself, because I know I am nowhere near my potential. So the more I help other people, the more intelligent I will become, because the more competition I will receive. And in that sense, I sort of believe my intelligence is like Super Saiyan, because I don't ever get stupider, and I constantly become smarter. So, I'm going to teach you guys how to do math in about 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm going to teach you guys how to become a genius in about 5 minutes. So, the first step you want to do is you're going to want to get some music. I would highly recommend something like Pretty Lights. They take other people's music like Blockhead and RJD2 and steal it. But they make some nice remixes, and Blockhead and RJD2 make some goddamn good music. El Producto, or LP, makes some nice rap with some very dark lyrics. Blockhead makes some great music. Pretty Lights, Blockhead, DJ Crush makes some decent jazzy hip-hop tunes. Ice Cube, Down for Whatever. LSPD, Insane Nigga, so on and so forth. I have some nice music in my favorites if you'd like to check that out. I had some nice other music. Basically, you want to pick a music with a fast tone that sounds slightly electronic. Hip-hop is not the best for this. You want something like Nit Grit, and if you don't know who that is, go search him. Something also like I Am God or I Am the Devil by Clams Casino. They are very good as well, and their music, along with Nit Grit's, is great for developing your brain. And I would highly recommend that you go ahead and set that up and listen to that for about an hour every single night before you go to bed. And when you do this, just for the shits and giggles, I want you to roll your eyes around. I want you to move them as quickly as you can. If you become good at this, you will simply be blown away with how quickly you can move your eyes around. You'll become better and better and better with time. Along with that, some of the other things that will occur, long way down the line, you'll be able to have vivid waking dreams. You'll be able to see things in a crystal clear HD quality that you could not imagine. Normally, when your memories filter through, everything is very blocky. I have the same problem. Everything is just general frames filtered in order of what would happen, right, chronologically. However, if you can have vivid waking dreams, you'll find that indeed you see with crystal clear quality. It's pretty cool. Highly recommend it. It's better than fucking doing drugs, and it's better than drinking. Way better than drinking. So, some of the other things that you can do, you'll be able to feel a sensation, a pressure, located here between your eyes, where your pituitary gland is, and here on the left side of your brain, where your critical thinking processes lie. And you'll be able to move this pressure, you'll be able to make it grow large, and make it pinpoint small. And as far as I can tell, pretty much the only trick you need to do is to simply move your eyes. And that's it. Just move them around. The more you move them, the more you'll begin to picture things. Your memories will simply flow. If you simply do not block any images, like for a long period of time, I would have sexual images display in my head, which I had a problem with. Eventually, I decided to let my brain do whatever it wanted to do. Typically, it would go into places I did not like it to go, and I would reroute my memory, reroute my path of thought somewhere else. Don't do that. Simply go right through it. A lot of times, in order to do this effectively, all you have to do is relive, literally relive, a single instance, or many single instances, of your greatest emotional pains, of your greatest failures, of moments when you looked the most stupid. Relive them with words, verbally, and using your hands helps you express yourself verbally. Doing this will allow you to partake in these mental exercises and allow your brain to flow easily, with no struggle whatsoever. Stopping yourself from thinking or stopping your brain from going to a particular thought because you think it's wrong is very, very, very bad. Allow your brain to go wherever it wants. If it decides to think bloody thoughts, let it. If it decides to think homosexual thoughts, let it. If it decides to think whatever, let it. Whatever terrible thing is inside your brain is not actually terrible at all. The process of you stopping your brain from thinking is. The music will help your eye movement speed up, it'll give you a rhythm, and it will make you slightly more intelligent. I would highly recommend music without lyrics. I will say that again. I highly recommend music without lyrics. If you are going to listen to music with lyrics, I highly recommend positive hip-hop, like KRS-One. That does not simply mean KRS-One, it just means like KRS-One. I, for the most part, don't really like KRS-One's music. There is amazing shit out there. Go looking for it. Now I want to teach you to do math. We're going to do 13 times 537. Now the first thing we're going to do is round. Why? Because we can't work with these numbers very easily. At all. So we're going to turn these into numbers we're more used to. First of all, this is 500, and this is 10. 10 and 3. So this is going to be 500 with a subtraction of, an addition of 37, and 10 with an addition of 3. Now these are the four numbers we are working with. We are going to take 10 times 500 and get 5,000. Now, I'm off the bat, you know, you're near 5,000. This is much more effective than any other method. Then we're going to take 3 times 500, and we are going to get another 1,500. Now, we're also knowing that we are now 6,500. Did I do that correctly? Yes. Now we're at 6,500. We're even closer, and we are almost there. At this point in time, we could simply say, who wants to do the last piece? It's not even important, but we'll keep going. We're going to do 10 times 37. That's 370. And we're going to do 3 times 37. And we'll roughly call that, 37 is basically 40, and 3 times 40 is basically 120. And 3 times the remaining 3 is about 9. So we're going to take 9 away from 120. And we'll get 110. And we're going to add 370 to 110, which should give us about 480. I think that's right, 480. And we're going to add 480 to 6,500, which is basically 7,000. I have a calculator here. And we'll do 537 times 13 is 6,981. And that is how you can do complex math in the millions, in the billions, in the trillions. It's a simple process, and I'll teach you right now. You're going to round to numbers that you're familiar with, that are close by. With 13, I'm used to 10. With 537, I think 500 is much easier to work with. Simple. Very, very simple. If that number were 1,537,212, I would break that into numbers I was used to working with. First 1 million, then 500,000, and then whatever in the tens thousand I said. And yeah. It doesn't matter how it doesn't matter how accurate you are, as long as you are quickly within a close range, and 19 away from 7,000 is incredibly fast, and you can do it in your head. And that's really all that matters. Accuracy, not so much. How close you come and how quickly, in other words, how efficient, that's everything. And above and beyond that, you don't need a calculator, you don't need to think all that hard, and you can do it in your brain. 537 and 13 are easy numbers to work with because they're small? No. They're easy numbers to work with because I turned them into easy numbers to work with. And you simply apply this theory as the number gets more and more expansive. So if I had picked 537,000, I would simply add these zeros at the end of it. I'd get 7 million. Simple reduction is the key to everything. First, turn things into numbers you can work with, and then turn things into smaller, reduced numbers by removing zeros and adding them back later. The same rule applies for division, and if you can't add, same rule applies for adding. And that is how you do math, and that is how you improve your brain structure in 20 minutes. Now, the remaining 10 or 20 videos, or however many I decide to make, will be teaching you how to do math and teaching you how to make your brain bigger and stronger in good detail. And I hope that the people I send this video to will help me spread this and, in fact, take the idea and make a video about it themselves. And I believe that doing that will help make you smarter than the elites, smarter than geniuses. Your brain is perfectly capable of becoming strong. It's just you haven't been using it correctly. My name is Taco Johnson, and that's how you become a genius. Peace.